All right, we are back. We are coming to you live from the Harmon Studios. We are on YouTube, we are on Facebook Live, and we are on KUAM TV 8. I'm Jason Salas, and this is Candidate Conversations, where we talk to outstanding Guamanians who want to honorably and nobly serve you as public servants. They want to serve in the forthcoming 37th Guam legislature. So we are going to introduce the entire roster, tell you who they are, what they're all about, what they stand for, and more importantly, what issues they want to tackle. Two more candidates, as I mentioned before we go to break. Someone, I believe, who had no problem finding the Harmon Studios here, because you occupied this for about 18 years. Yeah. Chris Barnett.
Thank you, Jason. Good to see you, my friend.
Hey, good to see you,
I want to say hi to you. I met a lady named Martha when I was out around. She is a dedicated fan of the link, and she loves you, and she wanted me to say hi to you. So, Martha, I'm just saying hi to Jason for you.
Okay, technically, he's only been a politician for about maybe 2 or 3 weeks and everything. He's already, like, carving out his place.
So, Martha, here you go.
All right, already kissing babies. And certainly no one who is or someone who is not a stranger at all to the world of politics and law enforcement, a practitioner of law, very distinguished lawyer, attorney Tom Fisher. So, Tom, congratulations on your candidacy.
Well, thank you very much. And I just wanted to say that I ran into Martha as well.
Oh, nice.
And she wanted me to tell you what just an outstanding young man.
How handsome you are.
How handsome you are and well dressed.
And Martha sends her regards.
Yeah,
oh, please stop it some more.
She really does.
Well done, counselor. Good cross-examination.
Thank you.
Okay, so we do have a rather free-flowing, open-ended form each, and going from the inside out. I'd like to give each of you gentlemen 60 seconds just to address the community and tell them all about you. So, Chris, we'll start with you.
Well, today my name is Daryl Christopher Barnett. I'm running to be your senator. I will be your voice in the Guam legislature if I'm blessed enough to get just one of your 15 votes. I'm running on the Democrat side. I'm number 7 on the ballot. You guys know me. I've spent, a couple decades here in these studios with KUAM, and I never hesitated to stand up and stick up for the people. I don't care how big or small the issue was, and I don't care whose door I had to knock on to discuss those issues. I'm, again, not afraid to stand up for the people, but I'm also not afraid to bring people who don't agree with each other or with me to the same table to reach solutions. On my way to work for the last 20 years, I've seen this island change so much. We've gotten so far away from the promise of a bright future for our people, our island, and our children, and I'm willing to work very hard as your senator to help us restore that future.
All right, very well done. Daryl, so, and technically, for the record, Chris, your name as it appears on the ballot as you had it, it's Daryl Chris Malfunction Barnett.
So on the ballot, it's going to be number 7, Barnett, comma, Daryl Christopher, and then under there's a little slot for like a nickname, and I put Chris Malfunction on there.
There you go. All right, well done. All right, Attorney Tom Fisher, we'd like to give you 60 seconds. By the way, great suit. I love the tie.
Thank you very much.
I appreciate like a good tie. And it goes very well with our blue suede couch here. So.
Well, thank you very much. Yeah, I didn't coordinate. It's a complete accident, I guess. But,
well, certainly matters more important than fashion are some of the issues that you would wish to address.
Yeah, thank you. My name is Tom Fisher, and I, too, am running for Senate with Daryl. And I agree very much with what he said about people working together. I've never understood that, we're not a huge island. We've got about 155,000 people here. There's room in the legislature for all voices to be heard, and they should be heard, whether, if I'm lucky enough to get elected and I'm in the minority or in the majority. I believe that both sides obviously need to be heard. We can't just, divide into tribes and decide that we're not going to listen to these people for 2 years. But you've given me an opportunity right now to introduce myself to you. I'm a graduate at University of Kentucky College of Law. I've been practicing law here on Guam for about 30 years and really enjoying it. I was with the prosecution division of the AG's office for several years, prosecuting criminals. And I've been in private practice since then, really enjoying it. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Thomas. I've had the pleasure of interviewing so many times over the last 22 years that I've been fortunate to be here at KUAM. I had no idea you went to UK.
Yes.
So go Cats.
Go Blue.
Go Blue.
Go Blue.
Okay. How many home games had you been to when you were in law school at that time? I realized you had a lot of studying to do.
Well, I didn't go to. It was getting tickets for a home game for UK basketball is like, I don't know.
Nearly impossible.
Nearly impossible.
Like the time I went to New York, I tried to go to a Jets game, and they were like, "There's a seven-year waiting list."
As I recall, there's always a set aside for the students, but those were gone
Absolutely.
Absolutely ridiculous.
Okay, well, maybe we'll talk basketball later, but more
We can
important.
talk basketball the whole time if you want. I met some great people last night, the Guam Masters Basketball Association, Mr. Bill Mantegnonia. Thank you for watching. Good afternoon.
All right. Okay, so gentlemen, we'll now begin the Q&A session. Just like the last one, you have 60 seconds to respond. I'm giving you guys 3 questions each, and we'll start again with Chris Barnett. Obviously, bro, you've been asked this question I'm about to ask at least 100 times. You're going to be asked it 1,000 more, so let's consider this 1,001, right?
Okay.
You were Guam's top radio guy for like so many years. You know, you had the pulse of the people. You had a huge following. You chose to step away from that life and now pursue public office. Why do that? Why make that decision?
Well, Jay, I think with the pandemic, for a lot of people, made them take stock of their life and the direction it was going, the direction our island and our people are going in. And you saw people step out and kind of take action. And for me, you know, coming from my position in the media for 25 years, I've tried everything. I've tried joking about the problems. I've tried, you know, making songs about them. I've tried doing investigative reporting. I've tried making jokes, but the truth isn't funny anymore. And it kind of reached a point for me where I felt obligated to stand up and serve our people over the last 25 years. I mean, since my first year on the radio, people have been asking me to run for public office. And it's something I've always considered doing. I wanted to do it in 2020, but I think 2022 is my year. And I'm so humbled because going around and talking to the people, like I said, they put out the call and answered it. And we're all really excited to try and get me in the legislature. So thank you.
All right, right on. So I'm sure you're getting those nice 6-foot-long picnic tables already, you know, the tarp.
There was one last night. I went to a nice barbecue with the Guam Masters Basketball Association. Again, this is a great group of guys. Older guys, obviously. I'm almost in that Masters category myself. But what I'm seeing from them is they're really excited for my candidacy because they feel like I'm going to represent them and I'm going to be their voice. I mean, it's not going to be that different from what I've done in the media. I've always stuck up for the little guy and the grassroots working people, and that is not going to change.
All right. Okay. All right, Tom Fisher, over to you, sir. As a Republican, I do not wager. Okay. I'm going to be completely, you know, frank with that. But if I were a betting man, I would say, given your work and your reputation, you know, as a first-class criminal prosecutor, that if elected, you'll be focusing a lot on crime. How do you want to use this new role that you're ambitioning to get into to keep us Guamanians safe and going from a practitioner of law to a creator of them?
Well, first of all, we have to stop this idea of catch and release. The AG's office needs to be leaned on to be more aggressive and more muscular. And without that, without a muscular Attorney General's office, it's fully staffed and fully financed. We're constantly going to be looking back and saying, well, how did this happen? How did that happen? Why are the communities, why are people in the community feeling less safe? So there's that aspect of the enforcement of the law, but one of the things that I am most concerned about is the waste in spending that this government is consistently involved in. It's remarkable that we have a $1 billion economy, but we can't seem to answer the mail when it comes to actually, you know, addressing people's concerns. So I look forward, if I get elected, I'd look forward very much to exercising the legislators' right to oversight. And I'd like to look at these I'd like to look at these I'd like to look at these agencies. Well, I will look at these agencies and find out what they're doing with the dough. That is people's money. It's taxpayers' money. You know, and I know it's cliche. I know it's cliche. But if we don't do something about it, we can't just continue to flush this dough down the toilet.
Very well.
Yeah.
Certainly that's a very hard thing to do. So streamlining, perhaps trimming the fat and everything like that, definitely part of your platform. Yeah,
because we have to start returning, we have to use that money that we save to address people's concerns. And that very much goes to public safety.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Funding cops and stuff. I know I'm running overtime, but Chris?
Fine with me. What, do I get to answer this too?
Oh, no. Well, you're next.
I got stuff to say about drugs and crime.
Well, we can split. You can split this one. You know, 30 seconds. I was going to ask you. My next question would be, you know, you've always spoken about hospitality and the need for tourism to make a grand return, not just to get us back to where we were, but there is an opportunity, given the last 2.5 years, to achieve a level of prosperity unseen before. How do you plan to do that, and how do you plan to be a voice to get us there, not just in theory, but in practice?
Right. Well, I think with tourism, we missed a lot of opportunity during the pandemic to kind of tidy up and do that housekeeping that was necessary for the day when tourists come back, which is actually happening right now. So when I look out at tourism and I talk to the stakeholders, I think we're doing a lot of catch up. And I'm also concerned, I've said this before, I said it on the link, concerned with the amount of freedom and leeway and power that GVB's management is able to exercise without anybody stepping up to kind of put a check and balance on this thing. You talk to the board at GVB, they're alarmed at what's happening. They're not content, they're not satisfied. They think that we need more ideas at the table, but no one is willing from the administration or even the legislature to kind of step in and referee what's going on down there. And you're right, we're at a pivotal point where tourism, we should be good, and I think it's going to improve and it's obviously a huge part of our economy, but I'm just concerned again that politics is rearing its ugly head and preventing us from moving forward in a way that's really going to be prosperous for our island and our people.
All right, very well said. Okay, if you are a student of Guam history, perhaps by this time next year, if you asked anybody 20 years ago that possibly Chris Barnett as a senator could be advising Carl Gutierrez as CEO of GVB
I'm not sure Mr. Governor's going to like that too much now, Jay. Right.
You would have never thought that would have come to fruition, but that very well may be the case a year from now. All right, Tom, how do we get ourselves out of the economic slump we are currently in, and how will you be a vehicle for that?
Well, we get out of that slump by hard work, you know, nose to the grindstone, because it looks like the federal money is drying up. So we have to, just as you would in your family, you have to look at the finances, figure out how we are going to economize here and what the priorities are and how we're going to spend that. What is going to drive the engine, of course, is tourism. Right now we've got an economy which is based essentially on military and small businesses, great for small businesses, but tourism. So we've got to get the tourists back in, and I agree with what Chris said. You know, we had 2 years when we could have been doing the housekeeping, you know, sweeping the floor and cleaning the windows and stuff, and we let that opportunity to go by. You know, it's a tough time. It was a tough time for everybody, particularly small businesses in Tumon. I mean, you go down to Tumon and it's still dark down there. Yeah. And it is still quiet, and you know, I grieve for some of these people. I had clients, you know, our law firm, we sued to try and get some money for these small businesses. We were not successful, but the fight is not over. You know, I had clients who were literally sleeping behind their bar.
Well, real quick, Tom, a lot of your contemporaries have said that they believe that economic diversity and expanding and getting more outbound products, if you will, than just tourism is the way to go. But I mean, there also is a lot of merit in saying you have to really get solid in your core competency.
Sure,
which is
and
visitors.
Chris and I just this weekend with others, we attended this cannabis convention, and that is a bubbling industry. That thing is really coming up, and it's not just people, you know, growing dope. You have all the ancillary businesses, people, you know, selling fertilizers and so forth. And
grow lights, all that stuff. I mean, they're just industries upon industries that can kind of build around cannabis. You know, on tourism, the return of tourism, it's like we're doing things the same old way. You know, when we talk to our visitors, they want to go to the beach, they want to experience our culture, they don't want to go to a $50 million pie in the sky smart park. You know, so there's also that. It's not just making sure that we have a vibrant return to tourism, but we also need to really take a good look at empowering our people through small businesses, through individualized tours. To really be stakeholders and to have them benefit from tourism. It shouldn't just be the hotels and the big organizations.
All right, well, because, you know...
well, I'm sorry, Tom. Let me give Chris his final... we want to stay within time, so let me give Chris his final question. Chris, as a journalist, you covered illegal dumps. You know, you chastise those who create them. You were trying to hold those meant to clean them up and keep them pristine, you know, accountable for their works. If elected senator, how much of your effort is going to be concentrated towards this thing that you talked about, you know, for years and years and years, but now, you know, people are going to expect you to step up.
Well, I mean, the only reason I was able to talk about it for years and years and years is because we haven't had a solution for it. And I mean, that's one of the reasons why I ran. I got tired of talking about the same old problems every election. We're talking about the same things. Illegal dumping. Man, I've done a million illegal dumping stories. We have been to a million illegal dumps, and we still don't have a solution. I think that we need to look at uncomfortable ideas, whether we're going to tie it to property taxes. I also think that we need to support Guam EPA. They don't have enough inspectors. I mean, if you think we're short on police, Guam EPA is trying to police the environment here with, you know, about 5 different inspectors who go out and catch these illegal dumps. We talk about free dump days. That was something that the Lieutenant Governor and I, Josh Tenorio, talked about as far back as 2018, yet we haven't seen that come to fruition. So I'm going to work very hard with Senator Sabina Perez, who's done great work on the environment. She's the environment chair now, and I don't know what the lay of the land is going to be when I get into the legislature, but if you look at my track record, it's no secret that I am a huge proponent of Guam's environment, and I will fight to keep it clean for our children and our people.
All right, well done, Chris. All right, Tom, your final question. The world is so much of a different place than when so many of us were like younger, and if elected senator, you know, given your encyclopedic knowledge of the law, right, how will you approach topics that have changed over the years? Like you were mentioning cannabis, so cannabis, gun control, abortion policies, and things like, you know, governing very controversial topics that now are seen in a different light maybe than 20, 30 years ago.
Yeah. How would I approach them?
Yes.
Honestly. Honestly. If you elect me or you elect Chris, I mean, you're placing your trust in us, and we have an obligation in return to approach these issues, as I said earlier, honestly. You know, we were talking about the growth of the industries like cannabis and stuff. You can't look at the growth of these new industries, and you cannot look at environmental problems, and you can't, a host of other problems with it, merely the attitude is, I hope it goes away. You know, we have a legislature that we demand address issues which confront all of us, and that is the job. It's not sufficient. It doesn't answer the mail to simply drop the ball on something and not approach it. You know, like we went through that double pay lawsuit, and the courts eventually shut that down. But the legislature had an opportunity to get in there and make it right for these people who got essentially deceived.
All right, sir.
You know.
All right, so Attorney Tom Fisher and Chris Malfunction Barnett, thank you both, gentlemen, and we congratulate you on your candidacies. We wish you the best of luck on the campaign trail.
Thank you.
Normally we would have like a couple more seconds, but we are like way out of time. We would normally ask them something weird about themselves or some quirky thing. Now we know that Chris's real name is Daryl.
Yes.
All of you know that,
Yeah.
and we know that Tom is a huge UK fan because he is a graduate of the University of Kentucky.
Nice.
University of Kentucky.
Yep. Number 7 on the ballot, guys, Viva Malfunction. I'm on the Democrat side. I want to go to work for you. I want to be your voice in the legislature, so please just give me one of your 15 votes. Sidus Mossy. Viva Guam!
There you go. Chris, Tom, thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
All right, sit tight, everybody,
Thank
because
you.
Vince Borja, a Republican, and incumbent Democrat Senator Joe San Agustin are coming up next. This is The Hotspot.